Alright, so today I found what I think might be my very last clutch of Ball Python eggs of the year. And this pairing was a bamboo calico crossed with a lesser female. And that lesser, she is one of my biggest Ball Pythons. As a matter of fact, I actually have her in an ARS 8018 tub, which I'd say most people don't put Ball Pythons in ARS 8018 tubs. Usually the 7030 tubs are perfectly fine for Ball Pythons all the way to adults. But I bought some really old, some really big Ball Pythons early on. She was one of the ones that I actually bought as part of a collection, and she is really super big. She's if you actually put her in an ARS 7030 tub, she's definitely cramped in there. So I moved her up to one of these bigger tubs. And the advantage with really big Ball Pythons is sometimes you can get a lot of eggs. I've actually had like 15 eggs on some of my biggest Ball Pythons, especially I have one that's over 5,000 grams. A het caramel albino, the big, really big female. She lays some really big clutches of eggs. So in this girl, I'm thinking maybe we'll get hopefully about 10 eggs. Hopefully I'll actually hit a bamboo on this one. I know a lot of people have been looking for just the straight bamboos, and so far this year I've only produced one of them, and I looked at my incubator, I don't even have any eggs that could possibly be a bamboo. So it looks like out of all the eggs that I hatched this year, maybe only one straight bamboo. Maybe I'll get one from this clutch. So what I want to do is I want to take a look at that female. We'll pull her off the eggs, see how many eggs they are, then we'll candle them and put them up in the incubator. Alright, so this girl lives way down in the bottom here, so you can definitely see the difference in size between a 7030 tub and a 8018 tub. Definitely a wider tub. And this girl is my lesser female number 2. I actually have 2 of them. The other one I think is possible het ghost. I don't think this girl is het for ghost. Look at all those eggs. Looks like a big bunch of really good eggs right there. Pretty nice. I don't know if she has 10. I see 1, 2, 3, 4. I see at least 7 in there. So we'll have to pull this out. I'll pull the tub out and put it on the table and see how many's in there. But yeah, she's really gripping those really tight. I saw this morning that she laid, it looked like she laid a couple, so I gave her a little bit of time before I actually came back. You know, you definitely don't want the eggs stuck in the female when you pull her off those eggs. So looking pretty good. I don't see any slugs, which is a good sign. And I've been waiting on her. She was like really super bloated for the last couple months, and she hasn't been eating anything, so she'll definitely be ready to get back on food after this. And pretty much all my other snakes went back on food, some of the ones I thought were gonna lay. So once they start eating, that's pretty much the sign that they're not gonna lay eggs. I think this is the last girl that is gonna lay this year. All right, so let's pull this girl out. We'll put her up on the table and we'll pull her off those eggs and check them out. All right, so take a look at this girl. There's definitely more eggs there than I thought. She's got a bunch of eggs and she is fired up. Let's see if I can get her off these eggs. So hopefully she laid all the eggs. I think I just caught her this morning laying eggs, so let's take a look at her here. If she'll let go of the eggs, ooh, they're kind of stuck to the bottom. So the first thing I do is look at her belly. Look at how big she is still, even after laying eggs. She's got a pretty good body weight to her. And I want to put her back over here in this boa tub. Got kind of a temporary boa tub over here. I'm going to raise this light up a little bit more. So let's see how many we have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yes, 10 beautiful eggs. And these are stuck to the bottom. Wow, they are really stuck. Wow. All right. Not too bad. I've had some that were stuck way worse. Some people actually put paper on the bottom. The problem is if they lay them on paper, then the paper is in the incubator for, wow, I can't get this one off the bottom. There we go. All right, looking pretty good. That's pretty awesome right there. That is the advantage of having a big snake. They lay a lot of eggs. So let me, I actually separate all the eggs. So if one goes bad, so this is, I think I might be able to fit all these in one box, maybe. I think the most I fit in one box was 11. I think I could fit 10 in one box. Alright, so we'll work on separating these. So when you're separating eggs, I found you definitely do not want to drop them. That's one thing. So I'd probably separate them, like keep them right low down to the flat surface, like inside of the tub or something like that. Yeah, I actually dropped one. I actually had it over the side of the tub. I dropped it on the floor, and unfortunately that egg didn't survive, so I probably wouldn't lift them up more than a couple inches off the bottom of the tub. But yeah, they're coming apart pretty easy. I think, so these must have been laid a few hours ago because they're starting to get a little bit leathery. So, and then it helps to have some Band-Aids close by. Seems like the Band-Aid, a small part of a Band-Aid. The last one I had a leak on. Yeah, one of the clutches this year, I was kind of bragging about how I've only ever had one leak when I was separating these. And I had another leak on one of the eggs this year, and it seems like you can actually just use a Band-Aid, one of the fabric Band-Aids, and then just cut just one little part of the fabric Band-Aid off, and then put it right over the leak. It seems like, you know, the Band-Aids come sterile anyways, so that seems like a good option. One year I used a whole Band-Aid. I think that's kind of excessive to put a whole, you know, the embryo still has to breathe through the eggs, so you don't want to cover too much of the egg. I've actually seen some people use like super glue, different glues, if you actually rip an egg open while you're separating them. But so far so good. And what I like to do is kind of spin them around a little bit. You try not to jiggle them too much. Some people just leave them all clumped together and you put them in a big box. But I really like to keep them separate. If you get one that really smells up your incubator real bad, you can remove it and toss it out. The other thing I like about separating them is it seems like I can get way more eggs in the incubator if I put them in a box and then put the boxes side by side, because, you know, incubator space is kind of a premium. Especially this year, at one point I was like almost completely full in that incubator. I think I only had room for like 3 more boxes. Luckily they were hatching before I put more eggs in the incubator. Ooh, got a string there. Alright, so next thing I want to do is I want to candle these, and I just use little pocket flashlight, and I use a Sharpie to mark an X on the embryo. So let's take a look here. Hopefully they're all good. Seems like I've had bad luck lately with eggs that look good but they're not fertile. My reticulated python laid a whole bunch of eggs. I think I had like 20 eggs I had to throw out because they didn't have no veins at all. And I've tried to incubate the eggs with no veins and they all go bad, unfortunately. It's just kind of a it's a good looking dud is what it is. You can tell the embryo, the little jiggly spot. The other thing I noticed with this flashlight is it gets super hot, super hot. It's super bright, but it gets super hot. So I always keep it, you know, at least an inch away from the egg so I don't heat up the egg, kind of back it down on my hand a little bit. Because I don't know if it makes a difference or not, but you definitely don't want to, you know, definitely don't want to heat up your embryos, heat up your eggs while you're candling them. And most people put the embryos on the top. I kind of just do the same thing. Put them up on the top. Although I have seen some females lay eggs in a whole pile, and sometimes the embryo will be on the bottom, just naturally laid by the female. which is kind of interesting. This one's, let's see, here it is right here. It's this little, you can tell it's got the little circular spot, and then if you kind of wiggle it, kind of jiggles a little bit. All good eggs, nice. Alright, so for an incubator box I actually use these little, I think it's a 6-quart box, a 6-quart shoe box that you can get over on Amazon. And then I bought these, I think these are like fish dividers. You can actually search over on Amazon for egg crate and then just cut them to size. I actually had to cut the corners off to get them to fit in the box a little bit. And then for a substrate, I actually use perlite. This perlite's been working great. The only thing I don't like about it is it's real dusty. It's probably not good to breathe in the perlite dust. That is probably not good to do. And then I add half a quart, or 1 quart. I think this is, let's see. I'll have to look at the bottom. I can't even remember how much that was. Oh, this is 1.5 quarts. That's pretty funny. So I'm using like half of that. So it's like what, 3/4 of a quart of water? I thought for sure that was a 2 quart. That's weird. Is that the right bowl? It seems like I got more water than usual. Oh, that's interesting. I think I used half a quart instead of 3/4 of a quart. Wow. Okay. That's really slushy. What I'm actually going to do is I'm going to add a little more perlite. Alright, I messed up my formula. It doesn't really matter how much you have, as long as the eggs don't sink down into it. You don't want the, well, I put the grate. Some people put it right on the substrate. I like to put the grate there just to keep it off. But wow, yeah, that's kind of a fail there, but it'll work. I must have grabbed the wrong glass bowl. I think I usually use half a quart on that one. Alright, so from here I'm going to add the eggs. Alright, so wow, take a look at those. I thought, for some reason I thought that I could actually fit 11 eggs in there, but there's no way. I think 10 eggs is the max on that, which is interesting. I think I did fit 11 once. I think there were smaller eggs, but look at how big some of these eggs are. They're huge. Speaking of big, look at this big old box of presents. I got this on Amazon. You can't even find this big of a roll in the store. And I'm just using this for the first time here. Interesting box. Wow, they must have a new cutter on the new boxes, because that cut really easy. Alright, so that's going to cook in the incubator for 2 months. Then from here, I need to put a label on it. Alright, so I actually use 2 different labels. I do the laid date and the hatch date, so I can see at a glance in the incubator. Today is 19th of July, and it will hatch the 17th of September. So September, and then usually it's like at least a month and a half before they're ready, because it takes a week to shed, and then a few weeks before they get going on live mouse hoppers, and then eventually over to like a frozen thawed mouse. So September, October, it'll be like like November. These won't be ready for until November. That's crazy. And the pairing on this is a bamboo calico crossed with a lesser. I think my bamboo calico might be 100% het desert ghost on this one. Someone actually said they bought a hatchling from this male, and they actually produced a visual desert ghost, bringing it to their desert ghost. So I haven't proven it myself, but I'm thinking maybe all these eggs will be 50% het desert ghost. So I don't even write it down. I just kind of know everything with calico. The desert ghost kind of gets diluted down the line. So somewhere in there, if you have calico from me, you might have het desert ghost in there. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put these labels in the box and then put them up in the incubator. Alright, so here's my 6 foot tall snake egg incubator. thinning out quite a bit, and I have lots of room in there. So I think this is pretty much it for the year. So this is the box we just put up there. We'll get some, from this one we'll get bamboo calicos, some lessers, some normals, and some blue-eyed leucistics. This box is the next one that's going to hatch here in just a few days. This is probably my most exciting one right here. I have 4 eggs. That's triple het to triple het. Albino pied clown to albino pied clown. I saw my first triple hets popping up on MorphMarket. People are selling them for like $15,000 for a triple visual, which is crazy. If I that's kind of the problem, is if you produce one, you know, do you sell it for $15,000 or do you hang on to it and then raise it up for a few years and then breed it back to get more of them? And it's kind of what I did with the scaleless heads and the scaleless, you know. It's you know, instead of selling them, I kept them as breeders, and then sometimes the market can crash. So I don't know. I'll probably hang on to, if I produce a triple visual, I can almost guarantee I'm not going to sell it. I'm going to hang on to it, even though it's painful because the market's so good for those right now. Then the next one, I just crossed a pastel with my Coral Glow Het Pied, kind of fishing in that pastel to see if it maybe has some pied in there, like a Het Pied kind of floating around. So that'll be interesting. That's the first time I paired those. I'll get some Coral Glows and pastel Coral Glows and some normals. This one, I have 2 eggs in this one. This is my Pinstripe Pied crossed with my Fire Pied. So I might get some Pinstripe Pieds, Fire Pieds, and everything will be Pieds. So I'll get some visual pieds. I don't produce many visual pieds at all. I think I've only produced like 3 of them since I've been breeding ball pythons. And then my last box, pretty much the best box right there. I'm hoping to hold a lot of those back. That's actually my Pastel Inchy Desert Ghost crossed with my Pastel Calico Het Desert Ghost. A really big clutch. I think there might have been 10 eggs in that one. And the odds are half of them will be visual desert ghosts, and I'm definitely going to hold back probably at least 2 female visual desert ghosts if I can produce some. Hoping for the what would really be cool is if I could produce the super pastel Enchy Calico desert ghost visual. I don't know if I'd hit all the odds on that one. That would be crazy. I would definitely hold that one back. Alright, so that's pretty exciting. Kind of the last bit of my ball python breeding of the year. Alright, so thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.